Good morning, campers. Let's do a reading. I want to start today from checking on a very deep level, how are you feeling? Because I am sensing this collective would be in a deep reflection. So as I sat down, it's not like I'm feeling bad. It's not like I'm feeling I wouldn't even dare to say lost hope, but there's this numbness. There's this what's the point, right? Which is not the nicest energy. So let's see. Let's see how you feel, so you really know this is your collective. What's going on? What's your energy? And then we're gonna do some oracles, and then we'll see. Yeah, we have Queen of Wands in reverse. Let's do two more. Okay. All right, you guys, we have a lot of coins, so maybe we have coins and wands, majority are coins, so maybe you're an earth sign, or maybe you're ruled by earth. You guys know how I always say to you that most of us have that ruling element, some of us have two, but not necessarily it is in line with that star sign. We have Queen of Wands in reverse. What I was hearing with this one is that that you are being tested. That's what I'm hearing, that you are being tested. You're maybe you are someone who is a little stubborn, who is a little my way or hit the highway, a little bit the things are not going the way you want them to go. You can get a little bit sad, a little bit pessimistic, a little bit depressed, a little bit impatient as well. We have Knight of Coins in reverse. I was hearing as well work environment, so maybe it doesn't necessarily have to be work environment, but I'm hearing that it wouldn't be people who are really close to you. So maybe not only family members, or that usually it's the family members, it's people around us that trigger us, but maybe you are in a work environment that some of your, I'm hearing annoyed as well. Maybe you're recently easily annoyed by little things that we usually allow to, just run in the background, and we let them slide, and it doesn't really matter. And I am sensing this irritation, a little bit of this irritation, a little bit of this easily triggered, is easily, right? We have Nine of Coins in reverse. I was hearing with this one, I was hearing that this collective, you are aware that you have low self-esteem. You are aware that you have to work on loving yourself. So maybe this is your key sort of a point when it comes to your self-work, your shadow work, that you need to love yourself better, that you need to speak to yourself better. There is a bit of this impatience, fearful for future, I'm hearing as well. I feel this collective, you wouldn't feel secure right now. You wouldn't feel like you have a foundation. You wouldn't feel like you have someone to rely on, someone to support you. But if you watch me, maybe you would know, what am I going to say now? Yes, it's important to have people in our life, our soul family, that always gets magnetized to us as we heal and as we grow. But that sense of security, that sense of stability, that sense of foundation, it's our inner masculine. It's our inner masculine. So we cannot ever put the weight of making us feel a certain way on other people externally, right? So if you feel like there's no one you can call, there's no one you can rely on, and when we are in this period of we go through transformation, we start to heal, we begin this journey, which for most people is a moment. If you talk about true awakening and true heart deep inner work, we're not going to be talking about people who are single, who are cleansing their external world as well. It's usually a journey that we embark on in solitude, for those of us who are meant to truly embark on this journey. It's normal and it's natural that sometimes we feel that it would be nice to have someone to rely on an everyday basis and not have to do it all on your own. But this is why we have our soulmates and in our, soul connections, true soul connections that we magnetize into our life. But that period of transformation, ultimately, then I always say this, no one will fill out the void and the gap that you have within you, because it's within. So maybe you need to work on your inner masculine, on finding that security, that stability. Let's see, let's do another row. Queen of Wands, the Fool, new beginning. Maybe you recently started a new cycle. I'm hearing it maybe in both in physical and in energetic sense. So maybe you entered a new level of your journey, and it also feels a little bit, sometimes progress, especially in the beginning of this journey, we do progress. So we know we're progressing, but as we find ourselves in that moment of getting out of a huge death and rebirth, or a huge ascension, or a change in the stages of our journey, it all feels so unknown. It feels so new, because yet again, we're pushed outside of our comfort zone, right? However miserable we were in that previous cycle, it was already something that was known, and it's a thing for us, for humans, for our ego, that change is intimidating. So maybe you entered a new level of your your journey, and a new cycle. You started a new cycle, and it feels a little bit uncomfortable. It may be as well that something changed, maybe like a new job, or something changed in your external life as well. We have the Devil in reverse. I'm hearing that this is about, there's something about you being triggered. Remember, we said this, that you feel like you are being triggered right now, and it may be a little bit too overwhelming, that you are I'm hearing that you may be conscious of some patterns, behavioral patterns, when it comes to you interacting with other people, but you find it very difficult to break them, to overcome them. Maybe there's a lack of understanding. I always say this to you guys as well, that how we break the pattern, how we heal a wound, how we integrate a shadow, is through understanding. We have to understand the why. Why do I behave that way? Why does it trigger me so much? What core wound within me that trigger is leading towards, right? And sometimes when we don't understand ourselves, our emotions, our triggers, our behavior, our reactions, it becomes really difficult to overcome that, because understanding is key. So maybe you've been trying recently, like you find yourself that you're triggered, that you're irritated, that you're agitated, but you don't really understand why. I'm hearing why these people piss me off so much. I feel like that there may be quite few karmic connections in your energy, you guys, but you have to accept, I'm hearing that we have karmic relationships around ourselves for as long as we attract them. So if you still have karmic relationships, it's a good thing. It means that these people are trying to teach you, that they're trying to show you something, that they're trying to. This is for you to get triggered, to understand yourself better, to be able to heal yourself better. So maybe there's a lot of work for this collective to be done. Maybe there are many things and many wounds that your guides are trying to show you. Our guides are always trying to support us, right? And oftentimes I find, there's a reason it's coming to my mind, oftentimes I find with people that are really either in denial, or they're really not seeing, not understanding the signs, the synchronicities, the subtle nudges from our guides. They have to become more and more pushy, more and more pronounce those lessons, those signs. So the less you are willing to see certain things, the more harsh karmic situations and relationships they're going to send to you. So you really see that there are still wounds within you, triggers within you that you need to address. But there may be quite low vibrational people around you right now. Ace of Cups. I do sense there's a bit of a lack of direction in this collective. So again, make sure that these parts, before we move with the next ones, that this really resonates. For this collective, it would be a thing that you know very well that you lack self-love, that you don't love yourself. I'm hearing even you don't like yourself. From your behavior. This is why you get so irritated, you guys. This is why what we're not seeing, it's not really these people who irritate you. When we get irritated, when it's always a projection. It's always a projection. No person has the capacity to make us feel, to irritate us. If you get irritated by someone else's behavior, that behavior is just something that mirrors your own triggers, your own wounds within. I feel this collective, you get frustrated by how you're not understanding certain things. So maybe you are already on a conscious journey of healing. Maybe you know that, triggers are for us to guide us towards our shadows, to heal those shadows. But currently you're feeling like you're lacking a little bit of direction, like you're lacking a little bit how you're supposed to do certain things, how you're supposed to analyze certain situations. What does this healing really mean? I'm not sure what to do with myself on an everyday basis. I know that people trigger me. I know that this may be a projection. I know that this is showing me those wounds. I know that I don't love myself. I'm hearing for this collective, it's from inside out. So you may have points of low self-esteem when it comes to your looks, your body, your character, your personality. But I feel this there's a little bit of like lost, like how do I do? But this is why I always say to you guys, this is why we need our mentors. This is why we need our healers. This is why it's so important, especially if you find yourself on this level of the journey, to work with a healer on a regular basis, and on a healer as well. I personally, it's very individual, right? And I explain this to you guys all the time. There are different types of healers, and we are humans as well. We have our individual path as well. We have our own boundaries as well. I know healers that they, work with you on a session, but in between sessions, they rarely connect with the people they work with. I have a different style. I prefer to work with less amount of people, but be available to them, because I feel like, especially those kind of journeys, this full transformation kind of journey, it's painful. And oftentimes we have no one to talk to. We have no one to ask these questions on a daily basis. So if you work with me, you know that if you're a regular, you come every 3 weeks, every 4 weeks, in between those sessions, you can reach out, you can drop me a message and audio. I will be there, I will respond. So this is why, but again, it's very individual. There's no harm in healers that don't do that. It's a personal choice how we manage, and I find that it usually is designed for the people that we're gonna be working with, right? But this is exactly why I say to you guys that it's so important to have a mentor, to have a healer, because when you feel like that, you can drop a message to this person, and if it is a good healer, they will be able to soothe you a little bit, to give you a little bit of direction, to channel, because we are channels, right? You guys are trying to talk to you all the time. It's just like you're not confirmation, you're not listening, because sometimes we need that channel to hear these words from an actual physical mouth, right? When we're not yet ready to fully tap into that inner guru. I feel that you find yourself a little bit in this moment when you feel like you have no control, and there is a control issue for this collective. This is why you feel that way. Confirmation. You would feel like you have no control over your life, over what's going on. Maybe you hit that point when you realize that what's the point of this journey if I cannot really choose for myself, but I have to surrender to this. Don't fall into, the universe knows better. I always say this to you guys, don't fall into that victim of fate kind of a mentality. We all have that from time to time, right? In the beginning of that journey, it's absolutely all right that we sometimes have feelings. What's the point if I'm just a puppet in the hands of fate and I want certain things? No, it's not true. We have free will. We can always say no to the universe. I don't want that. But the job of our guides, of our spirit team, especially if we have a very specific spiritual journey and if we're meant for greatness, really, the job of our spirit team is to push us through difficulties, through shadows, through challenges, to help us get to the highest, most aligned timeline. No one said it would be easy. So don't get into that, right? And again, that's why I always say to you guys that this is why we need our mentor, because if you do have a healer, if you do have a mentor, you go for regular sessions. If I am your healer, you would know this as well. And I always sort of give you things to do from that 1 month to another, from right in between the sessions, so okay, so my guides want me to work now on this and that, and I'm going to achieve that through doing this and that. We're going to do a little bit, hold on, sorry. We're going to do a little message from your guides in a moment as well. There is a bit of you would be feeling like on your own right now, this collective, and I'm hearing two things. Like, you would be going into these spots like it's unfair, right? People don't care, and I care. Maybe you even think that you care more about people, they don't care about you. But there are two things in this way of thinking that I wanna mention to you. First of all, it's what I already said. It's your inner masculine. It's your inner masculine that you need to heal, to be that stability, that security, that foundation for you to rely on, for your inner feminine to rely on, right? If you feel that way, that you're on your own, then it's because your inner masculine is not healed. It's distorted. He's wounded, right? So he needs attention. So that one thing, it's your inner problem. And second thing that we also learn on this journey is that if you want help, you have to learn to ask for it. You have to learn to ask for it. It is nobody's job, and we have to accept that. It doesn't matter if it's your soulmate, if it's your ultimate partner, if it's your parent, if it's your child, if it's your healer. It is no one's job to check on you every single little day, to ask how are you doing. It is you, and it's also part of the feminine energy within, because healed divine feminine energy within knows how to ask for what we need, right? So I feel this collective, you will also have to learn that if you need that support, whether it's you're going to ask it from your healer, from your friend, whoever, you have to actually ask. You have to actually send that message. I'm feeling a little bit bad today, under weather today. I'm feeling a little bit alone. I'm feeling a little bit, can you dedicate a little bit of that time for me, right? Because it's a mistake that many people make. We all we're supposed to be whole on our own. We all have our lives, we all have our struggles. You cannot expect from your friends, even best friends, even again a healer that you go to, let it be every 2 weeks, to check on you every day. Right? Again, if you need that, it's because your inner masculine is wounded. We have to learn to ask. We have to learn to ask. To pick up a phone and say to this friend or a cousin, I don't know why cousin just came to my mind, and I'm having the worst time. Can you maybe come over? Or can you maybe come and spend a weekend with me if that person lives in far away or in a different city? I might not necessarily need or want to talk about it, but I need a company. I'm feeling very alone. Or to pick up a phone and to call to your healer. I know it's still like few weeks or however, to our next session, but I need support. You have to learn to ask. Instead of assuming that people don't care, that life is unfair, do you know what I mean? Because there's a little bit of that energy with this collective. Let's do a couple of these. I was guided to use these. Adversity. I accept that challenges are the best way to learn. That's something that you need to accept. Self-esteem we have. Hold on, let me do a few more. I would. All right. Yeah, so we have adversity. That would be an important thing for this collective. I accept challenges are the best way to learn. Right now, you're a little bit not so happy with the challenges. Not so happy. Because let's face it, this journey is difficult. For first years before we master it. But in all seriousness, you guys, this is a gift. Because people who are truly meant to transform, right? This is it. This is the lifetime that you're going to cross the bridge. You're going to heal. You're going to walk Christ consciousness. You have a mission to complete. Our guides have to push us. Because normal people, those 2-year cycles I always talk about, right? You guys know how I explained that we all work in 2-year cycles. An average person has one thing to learn. Even if they're aware and spiritually aware and very developed, they're going to have one thing to learn in that life cycle, right? Us, those of us who walk the path of becoming spiritualists, of true Kundalini awakening, there's no time to waste. This is it. This is happening. There's no time to breathe and to rest. Push, 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 push. 2-year cycle. 2 years. In 2-year cycle, we become a completely new person. Unrecognizable. What most people do in 2-year cycle, we do in 2-month cycle. Right? It seems overwhelming. It feels overwhelming at times, but it's a gift. It means that they believe that you can do it, that you can achieve that. We grow through challenges. We have self-esteem. I possess gifts of the soul that benefit me and others. So it's a thing for this collective. It's confirmation. You have no self-esteem. It's something that they want you to work on, to release the conditioning. It is not your body that defines your value. It is not how you look. It is not the clothes that you wear. It is not. It's your vessel. It's your vessel that allows you to live this experience. You have to love it. The more you love it, the more it's gonna flourish. You have to believe in your worth. You have to believe in yourself. We have patience. I accept that everything happens in divine order. Again, confirmation. You are a little bit impatient, this collective. Maybe you know, and we sometimes, subconsciously know this. We usually subconsciously know how long our journey is going to take. We sometimes fight with it. We sometimes refuse to accept it. But I find that true divine feminines on a journey, especially in the beginning, you get intuitive thoughts, you get intuitive feeling, right? That inner knowing that it's going to be relatively crash course. So it's going to take a little while. And sometimes we struggle to accept that. We have judgment. I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges. This is it, because we had the justice card we talked about. I feel like you're judging a little bit. You're judging yourself definitely, but I feel like others as well. Why they're triggering me, why they don't care how I feel, why they don't care that I need them. Why do I? Because it's you. You're supposed to care how you feel. If you yourself are not there for you because of that low self-esteem, How are you expecting others to be there for you? And we have regret. I know that I cannot change the past. Maybe you have been recently analyzing the past, a little bit regretful for things that happen. I feel it's more that you're not liking where you are right now. This collective, that you're not really happy where you are right now. Okay, let's do my angels. Let's do a little bit of oracle, and then we're gonna do guidance. I feel like this deck as well. Let's do a little oracle. What's going on to confirm? That's good. That's actually good. Some more. Did it flip? Yes. You guys, again, self-love. This is key for this collective. You're gonna go nowhere on this journey. You dream about this amazing life. There are things that you dream of. Love, family, your person, maybe even, your path. And how do you want to magnetize these things if you don't feel that you're worthy? If you don't love yourself, if you don't like yourself? You are the universe. All right. We have reflecting. That's actually good. That's your first card. So you would be sitting, but we were sensing that. It's just that I feel that your thinking pattern is a bit negative. You're going towards negative thoughts, but you would be sitting in a place of reflection. We have fake accounts. To be honest, you guys, I'm hearing that you're the one making those fake accounts. We'll confirm, but I'm hearing that you are doing a little bit of spying, a little bit of, so maybe maybe there are people in your life that you want to know their whereabouts, and you're not in touch in the physical. We have habits. I don't know if I will ever change, and we have that self-love too. Because I feel there's a sense of, this is why I remember when I'm hearing desperation right now. Remember I was mentioning in the beginning, like, lost hope. I feel hope is not completely lost with this collective. You have at certain level and point, it's like you have some sort of a faith, right? It's just that deep down you know that this is going to be hard work and it's going to take time, and you're not liking where you are right now. But this is this is how the journey of healing actually works. Cyberbully actually works, you guys. We're not going to progress to another level as long as we master and conquer this level. Nothing good will be attracted if we're not appreciating what we have. And sometimes we sit in a moment of darkness and it's difficult, but there's always, you can appreciate that you are on a journey. You can appreciate that you're sitting here with me watching this reading, that you have someone to guide you. You can appreciate that you have a healthy vessel. You can appreciate that it's a privilege and it's an honor, you guys, to awaken in a lifetime, because it gives us an opportunity to truly heal, walk that Christ consciousness, and live a paradise on earth. I feel like right now, this collective, you don't believe in yourself. You don't believe that you could achieve that kind of a success because of that self-love. Sorry. We have unappreciated. It's another confirmation. I feel you are sitting in a place of, you do feel unappreciated. You do feel subconsciously, maybe you even think to yourself that you deserve better, that you deserve a better life, that you're a good person. But maybe it came to my mind, so maybe you watch me, or you've heard other people say, other spiritualists say, that entitlement comes from a place of ego. We don't deserve anything. It's not about what we deserve, it's about what you need. So maybe you're conscious that you shouldn't be having that thinking pattern. I feel like it's a thing for this collective. It's like you're aware that you shouldn't, but instead of thinking I shouldn't be thinking that way, use those thoughts and those emotions to figure out why you feel that way, why you think that way.